More news in Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria has approved 10 additional international money transfer operators, IMTOs, to boost diaspora remittances. Back in March, the Central Bank approved 47 of them to boost FX remittance inflows into Africa's largest economy. CBN had announced that beneficiaries of diaspora remittances through the IMTOs will have such inflows in foreign currency through the designated bank of their choice. Arise business analyst Chika Mbono joins us to discuss this headline. Chika, very welcome.
Hi, morning.
Morning, sir. Where would you like to begin? Shall we start with sugar?
Let's start with sugar.
Let's start with sugar. What do you make of what's happened?
We've spoken so much about the sugar issue in the country, and it's just because of our passion and our commitment to making sure that our country gets benefits for approvals that it gives. And then we talked about the export-free zone.
Yes.
And we're happy that the minister has actually, is in sync with what was suggested, because we said that the export-free zone production was actually made for export and not through the back door to come into Nigeria.
Yes.
Especially for sugar, where there are benefits for doing that. And so he's listened. And why that's important is because of the fact that for a nation that's trying to diversify revenue from oil and looking for alternative sources of revenue, we should actually plug all the leakages of revenue.
Yes.
And that sugar issue was one of the leakages. And I'm happy that the minister finally addressed it. And it's important that he stretches, because a lot of things, a lot of this fall into his band.
Yes.
As the Minister for Trade, duty waivers. When the government is giving all these waivers, there are benefits that should accrue to the country for those things. Mostly, after these waivers are given, nobody goes to audit to make sure that the country gets benefits for all these waivers. There are things like pioneer status, tax holidays.
Yes.
We'll give all those things to make sure that the country gets some benefits for other things. Now nobody goes to audit for those benefits. Maybe you may not even know that the export-free zone, as contrived, as planned, is supposed to be sort of foreign direct investment into our country. And not supposed to be, use a backdoor and come into the Nigerian banking system to get funding to, finance your projects there. Because it's supposed to help us attract FDIs. Again, we know there's some leakages in the system.
Yes.
Where a lot of companies there actually got the financing from the banking system in Nigeria. And so we didn't get the benefit of the FDIs that those export-free zones, were attract for us. And so it's just important that all the ministers involved will consistently make sure that they follow up with those compliances. We are also even aware that there are some concessions that have expired in the ports, and in the mines and so many other places, and nobody following up to renew them, and the nation loses revenue in that respect. And for us that's looking for alternative source of revenue away from oil, it's important that the ministries. This Minister for Trade has done, all of them focus, go back and make sure that we plug all these leakages. When you're broke, when you're looking for money, you tend to look through all your pockets.
Yes.
Most of us just go to our wardrobe and just rifle through all the pockets to see whether there are any money in there.
Right.
You bring out your debtors list and say, oh yes, Rotus, I gave him that, he paid me back. And you start calling names.
Right.
That's the kind of situation, there must be rigor and passion in that.
Right.
But we'll still go ahead, everybody still looking at the oil prices, whether it's moved to 70 and so on and so forth.
Right.
The other sources of revenue and leakages that happen in the country that we should just go and plug.
Chika, something else you've talked about, the borders and smuggling. And we know how they have an impact on the commodities like sugar. So you were here when we talked about the customs approving 400 and something billion for vehicles. So on that side as well, is that also...
It's the same leakage.
Yeah.
Same leakage, that to make sure that the borders, the custom people are properly equipped now, hopefully, and to make sure that they plug all leakages for smuggling. When goods are smuggled to Nigeria, one, the industries in Nigeria are hot. We lose tax, we lose revenue, we lose unemployment, and then we'll become a dumping ground for the goods from other countries.
Right.
And so smuggling is actually a very criminal offense. And again, it's another major leakage, and that all the ministries involved must make sure that they work on them. And I'm focusing on this because it's very important for our country.
Of course.
If we say that we're struggling with oil prices, whatever finding revenue from oil, we must focus on other aspects of our revenue base to make sure. Look at the exporters. The exporters are complaining, seriously, on the export processing cycles. There are delays in the chain. There are issues of the ports. It's very torturous now exporting goods into the port.
Right.
Remember one time even for 2 weeks. Remember the
when they wanted to review things and they shut down exports. Right.
If you listen to exporters, they'll tell you that that they shudder to think that Nigeria wants to expand from oil because we pay lip service to exports, and it's important to look at and things like that.
Great. So with all this attention now because we've talked about the sugar stuff, you think there'll be more focus now on making sure everybody is playing by the rules?
Minister of Finance, who is the champion for revenue, should actually look at this and help. The same thing with port. A lot of the port system is manual. A lot of the things are manual.
Right.
And when you have manual system for examination, you and me know what will happen.
Right.
So the investment in scanners, high duty scanners, durable scanners at the ports to make sure that inspections are done holistically and completely, and so all the revenues coming to the basket for Nigeria must be done.
Fantastic. We just talked about power yesterday, the World Bank survey. So now this tariff review.
As structured, the multi-year tariff review order,
yes.
As structured from the beginning, there are milestones that have been put along the line, and then there are happenings that will take place, and then it will lead to review or the tariffs, and it works both ways. The compliances from the discourse. And then based on NERs, the Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission, will work with all the stakeholders to look at the compliances and look at the deliverables from the discourse to make sure, for example, you have things like exchange rates increases, interest rates, taxes, and other things that have some impact on the cost of delivery or service from the discourse, and all those put in the basket to arrive at the new tariffs. This was what led to the problem initially when we had the issue of the rates were not reviewed over a period of time.
Correct.
Because our electricity system, the framework, was not, certainly complied with the way it's supposed to be done. But now they're trying to, get it right again. So you put all this in the basket, and if it happens that, it will reveal that rates have moved, then adjustments will be made to the electricity rates that come to your home.
Chika, what about the resistance? Labour, as we speak, Labour and government are talking about fuel reviews. So, as you said, there have been delays. So if this leads to another, hike, what about the resistance from the Nigerian people?
Electricity has been softer. Electricity increases have actually slipped through the crack. And it's actually happening now. It already happened.
Right.
But the issue is the multi-year tariff order now has to be implemented. That's where it's supposed to be implemented.
Fine.
And if the free market is running for the petroleum products, so that's where it's supposed to be run also.
For electricity.
Like electricity. And if there are increases in prices, exchange rate and so on and so forth, you adjust the rate. If you look at African countries, look at Kenya, look at South Africa, even Ghana, you'll find that occasionally, periodically, you have increases in the petroleum prices, reflecting the increase in the input costs to those products.
See, Chika, every time you come here, you break all these things down and explain them for everybody. Is the government doing enough in terms of communication with the people to explain all these things? Because you saw that poll where 82% didn't know their tariff band.
That's the problem.
Right.
The problem is that, and sadly, there are agencies of government that are supposed to be doing this for the people.
Right.
And when you communicate to people and let them know the benefits to them, the moment I thought about it, I said tax. People are willing to pay tax.
Yes.
Even saw the report yesterday. People are willing to pay for new increases in the tariffs, electricity, if they have more supply of electricity, more hours. You can say, if you made this investment, this is what will guarantee this. And watch out for that. But the issue is one-sided now. The increases are done, but we don't see the benefits arising from the increases.
Final question on this, Chika, before we move on to the central bank and INCOs. The timing of these increases, COVID, we're coming out of recession, high inflation. What do you make of the timing? Is reality or?
It's reality.
Yeah.
It's reality. And that's what I talked about in the fuel problem. Remember the subsidy is on now?
Yes.
And then even if you are not getting the subsidy at the fuel, behind the subsidy, at the fuel pump, the price at the fuel pump, you are bearing it indirectly.
Right.
Because the nation is subsidizing it. And then, so you're getting some benefit, so who else is getting the benefit? So that subsidy there is costing us a lot of things.
Understood.
A lot of things. So we are indirectly paying the price for the subsidy. And I keep saying that we cannot continue to carry the subsidy. We must have a middle ground where the government must be able to sell it again to the citizens of the country at the benefit of withdrawing the subsidy, and so that citizens can get those benefits indirectly from the withdrawal subsidies. And so then in the long term, there's a price stability, like it's happening in the telecom industry now.
All eyes on this meeting between government and Labour. I honestly cannot wait to see what the outcome is going to be. Finally, Chika, the central bank has approved another 10 IMTOs.
You know, one of the, in the survey that has been done, one of the limiting factors, one of the constraints has, as to the, for the diaspora remittances yes. has been the ease of access to, the IMTOs. How is it easy for them to, when they send money to Nigeria, to access these approved, IMTOs? And so when they don't have that, they'll just go and look for those corner ones yes. that, will lead to problems for them. And so this approval by CBN is just in continuation of the drive to move up the incomings from the diaspora remittances, along with other initiatives that the central bank has put in place. Do you recall the Naira for dollar CBN? Yes. The fact also that all your money that comes in now, you can collect it actually in cash dollar, or you go to the DOM account and you can spend it anyhow you want, or go and change it anyhow you want and get the rate you want, which was a major limiting factor before, pulling out individuals from sending their money through the formal system. So this is just in that line, to make it easier for our brothers and sisters abroad to be able to push their money down to Nigeria. And so you have multiple channels to use in doing that.
Chika, as the CBN continues to approve more and more of these IMTOs, is there any danger that there might be too many to monitor? Is there any fear in that regard?
No, I don't think so, because a lot of things now are automated.
Right.
And the compliance is a report they must render. And each one is tagged to a bank also. Anyone that's abroad has a partner bank in Nigeria where through which they do their transactions. So there's a relationship and monitoring in process
between you two. In fact, if I can tie this back to what you're talking about with sugar and diversifying revenues, if we're able to, get the diversified exports, then FX more FX comes in, then
I tell the central bank people that the major issue in export, the central bank will come and say that the exporters have an unfettered access
right.
to their
proceeds.
Yes. But the issue. The issue is what? The issue is what? They have unfettered access. Means that when the money comes through the banking system to their account, they can use it to do anything they want to do. That is documented transaction, right. Which is, importing raw materials, importing equipment, that case may be. They cannot withdraw it as cash and go and change it at the market. So all the transactions they're doing is what? Official at NAFEX rates. And they're eyeing that 488.
I'm wanting attempted to
you get them. But the problem for them is that they are operating, I keep telling them also that the exporters are operating the market where their raw materials are priced at the market rates.
So that's the gap that needs to be filled.
That's the gap that needs to be filled.
Arise business analyst Chika, thank you so much for taking us.
Thank you.